Street, and we'd like you to welcome them Amanda Riss, Jennifer Rubin, Monica Keener, and Robert Westler. Nice to see you. Oh, here's the other microphone. Can you pass that down? Everybody share. We'll see if David Letterman can show up in a few minutes. Paul, what do you think? Oh, no, wrong show. Thank you all for doing this. We appreciate that. And I'm sorry we don't have a lot of time to spend with you, but we would like to. First of all, Amanda.
Yes.
How are you? Nice to see you.
Oh, I'm well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to see you as well.
Well, that's very nice of you to say. Thank you. I don't think Lance would share that. But seriously, you were the first victim of Freddy Krueger in the very first movie, were you not?
Yes, I was.
And you ended up rolling around that bedroom just a little less than any given Kardashian, I think.
Oh my word, I've never been compared to a Kardashian.
No, you're looking at her really. Tell us a little bit about that scene.
Well, it was shot, as most of you know, in a small room that was built inside a sound stage, and it was on sort of like a rotisserie spit type thing, and there was actual men outside cranking it to make it go around, and everything was nailed down and glued down, and I crawled across the floor and went around as if I was going across the ceiling, and it was really exciting and exhilarating, and I got vertigo. I freaked out.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I thought I was falling, but I was on the floor, and Wes had to stop and come in and pull me down and prove gravity to me that he was on the ground and I was on the ground and all was well.
I had the same feeling, seriously, when I was on the teacups at Disneyland for the first time. They stopped spinning and I thought they were still moving. So I know exactly how you felt. Now, is it true that there was one shot they were going to try to do that they wanted to first you to run the camera on, but because you weren't in the union, you couldn't do it?
It's true. And so they ended up dressing, she's since passed away, beautiful, Jock Haken's wife. They put her in my outfit, I think, or something like that. But so she sat on the ground and held the camera, and Robert dragged her, and she filmed his face as they were doing it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And the one thing Robert said about you that he remembered about you was that during the movie you were braless.
Wow, of all the things, you can't think of anything. Come on.
No, he loves you dearly, right?
Oh, I love him too.
Ronnie, how are you? Thank you for showing up.
Good, thank
it's
you.
nice to have you here. I was a big fan from Nashville.
Thank you.
And I really enjoyed that. You were Nancy's mom, and in typical fashion, you know, teenage daughter drove you to drink. I think that's happened with a lot of parents. You had a scene, and I don't know if it was really you or not, because you met your demise when the flaming body of Freddy was on top of you. Now, was that all stunt people, or were you actually involved in that scene?
Well, Marge died a couple of times, but the one where she was burned up in the bed, I did work with fire, but they decided not to use it. It was considered, I believe, perhaps against the union rules.
Oh.
So, although I did work with it, it wasn't used in the actual film.
Oh my gosh. Now,
Where's my dummy?
Don't say that, you're not. I mean, but I was kind of laughing because I was looking over at your IMDb list of jobs, and the same year you did this movie, you also were on Highway to Heaven. That's like going from heaven to hell in the same year.
Yeah.
One thing I don't know if people know about you is you sang backup for Bob Dylan.
Yeah, I toured with the Rolling Thunder Review.
And do you still sing?
Yes, I do. I'll be playing New York, the Cutting Room, on September 20th. And as far as Bob goes, we also did the movie Reynaldo and Clara, and I also sang with him on Hurricane on his album Desire, which became a hit and then was used for the movie Hurricane.
Very cool. Jennifer, I have to tell you, we did run one of your movies on my show. It was Little Witches. You remember that?
Yes.
You were a nun, right?
Yes.
It was a chilling movie, wasn't it?
Yes.
You died in that, didn't you?
Yes.
But in that movie, Robert was talking about how you shot that scene with all the mouths on your arm and everything, and that they had actually screwed it up and did the wrong side.
Yes, it wasn't the arm, it was they taped like a condom to my head, and so my head was to explode.
Okay.
And they had that on the wrong side.
And he said that you had written some nasty note on the mirror in lipstick.
That sounds right.
Oh my God. And during that movie, you were wearing a Dokken t-shirt supposedly? They said it was because their music was on the soundtrack. Do you remember that at all?
I don't remember what I was wearing, other than the...
See, now, if you've been browsing, I'm sure Robert would remember that. You never know, do you?
No.
Let's see, Monica, my dear. How are you? Nice to see you.
Good to see you too, sorry.
You were the last surviving woman in the final movie that Robert was writing in.
I was.
And you also talked about the fact that you were in the water without a wetsuit.
That's
and
right.
were freezing.
Yes, I was.
Oh,
That was.
Lord.
We were in Vancouver in the fall,
Oh.
and I was wearing a very skimpy outfit, and it got smaller and smaller.
I can't imagine why.
Yes, exactly. So by the time the finale happened, I was wearing next to nothing, and yes, you couldn't hide a wetsuit under it. But honestly, to Jason Ritter's credit, he was so sweet. He said that if I was going to be freezing, he would be too. So he didn't wear one either.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Do you find gallantry like that on the set that often?
Not very often. In fact, I don't remember ever before or since. So, yeah.
In that movie,
He's a special
you
one.
actually decapitated Freddy, did you not?
I sure did with Jason's machete.
Could you explain how that was done? Do that. Not many women can claim to that.
Well, oh gosh, interestingly enough, Nightmare on Elm Street was one of the first movies I ever had seen, and definitely the first horror movie. And I think the last until Freddy vs. Jason.
I heard it really upset you and you couldn't sleep?
I
for
couldn't
like a
sleep.
while
No,
after that?
I think I was in, oh gosh, I had just transferred schools. We moved a lot. I remember we just moved back to Brooklyn, and I think I was in second grade. That sounds about right. I was in second grade, and that my whole year, second grade through third grade through fourth grade, I mean, it got so bad that I had counselors coming up to me and asking if I was being abused at home, and I'm not kidding. I know it's creepy, but I mean, I just got so thin, and I had like circles under my eyes, and I just said like, there's this guy, this man, and he's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me if I fall asleep. And they were like, is it your father? And I said, no. And they said, it's your grandpa, one of your uncles? And I said, no. They're all firemen and cops. What are you talking about? And I said, his name's Freddy Krueger. And anyway, they had to take me to the special pediatrician. It was a long day. So anyway, long story short, I just remember my mom got me this newspaper article finally about 2 years into it of Robert in his makeup and out of his makeup, and a whole thing about Robert Englund and Freddy Krueger and this whole whatever. And I just remember taking it to my bedside table, and for about almost 10 years, when I went to sleep, just saying like, it's not real, it's just a character.
And then you go and make a movie with it.
Well, I know, but I remember saying, when I grow up, I'm going to be an actress. I'm never going to make movies that scare little kids. And the first one to come on my table, that I came across was Freddy vs. Jason, and I just thought, oh my gosh, what would my little self think? And then I read the last couple of pages where I decapitated him, and I was like, yes!
A woman standing up for herself.
That's right, it was very cathartic.
Very cool. And Robert Russler, how are you? Nice to see you.
Good, thank you.
Thank you for coming in tonight.
First of all, I have to apologize. I was sort of a last-minute appearance tonight because Sean Clark never tells me anything. Some reason he's got something against Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. And we know it was supposed to be the Girls of Elm Street, and I figured if Mark Patton's not going to be here, that would be sad. So thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming. And Robert was talking about how you had to stay there and stay still during the whole shooting of him separating from Robert, what's his name, Patton?
Mark Patton.
Mark Patton, yeah. I'm thinking of the general.
Yeah, Mark Patton.
Yeah, and so how did Freddie kill you in that movie?
I don't remember. I was so stoned the whole time. I think about the whole shoot. I mean, I was just nothing but a menace in that movie. Marshall Bell was a really bad influence on me, and it was long days. I didn't like anybody on the film. Robert Englund was great to work with, but he was so friendly and so warm and hospitable in the morning, and we would talk, and Robert loves to talk, by the way. He's up on current events, he's a very intelligent and communicative, and in the morning I would come in and we would say hello, and we would discuss whatever was going on in the news, and then after about an hour or two into makeup, I would continue the conversation and say, Bob, I'm gonna go get a coffee. Would you like a coffee? Fuck off! And I realized he was a method actor, so, I started shooting heroin.
I think everybody remembers you with Robert Downey in Weird Science. What was it like to work with the future Iron Man?
Well, I was so drunk, I don't remember. I was at Universal Studios and I went into John Hughes' office for an audition, and the next thing I know, I was in AA.
Did your dad work at Universal Studios?
He sure did, yeah. My dad was a Teamster at Universal Studios for many years, so I grew up on that lot.
Oh, wow.
Let's hear it for the Teamsters, damn it!
You better, or they'll turn out the lights.
Yeah, so my first movie was at Universal Studios, and a real funny story about that is I knew almost everyone in that lot, from Scotty the Guard to Silent Gus to the head. I mean, they called Silent Gus because he wouldn't stop talking, much like Mr. Englund. And on my first film, John Hughes and Joel Silver taft-partnered me, and it was a big deal my first day on the set. And as soon as I drove up, they were standing there like proud parents. And one of the drivers comes up to me and goes, "Rustler, you asshole, what are you doing here?" And then I got a Dutch rub, and it was really funny because I was never so embarrassed. And my dad runs up and he goes, "Son, I'm on the movie!" And they were like, "How do you know everybody?" And I said, "Well, son of a Teamster."
It's very cool. I know we were going to have to move out because Charles' band will be coming in. Somebody thought at first that it was a band that was actually.
How many people want some more from us? Let's hear some stories from Jennifer Rubin.
Jennifer, do you have any good stories for us to line things up? Anything that you can talk about?
Not to put you on the spot, but go!
It's just like TMZ, isn't it? I'm telling you. I want to thank you all for coming out here. Really appreciate it. Remember, you can meet all these people in the next couple days here at Flashback. Come visit with them and get autographs. I appreciate you all coming out here. Amanda Wiss, Jennifer Rubin, Johnny Benson.
See through that.
Hey, we'll be here all weekend. I'm holding, so come by my...